The beta for Battlefield 5 is now out for everyone to play, and as such, I thought I would introduce a brand new series to my channel that I hope to extend with the full game come November. With this series, I wanted to take a look at the various generals and commanders who led the charge of battle on both sides of the war. So welcome everyone to my first video on Who's Who in World War II. And as always, I'm Christopher, the video game historian. Now before I start, I want to quickly give thanks to my buddy Panzerwaffel, or @GamerMikeH on Twitter, who came up with the idea for this series. Be sure to go give him a follow as he is a great member of this awesome community. Now each video of this series will follow one commander from either side of the war who was responsible for leading his men into battle. Since I'm showcasing the Rotterdam map, I thought I'd start the series off with the commander who led the Dutch fighters against the Germans in this devastating battle, Colonel W Scharroo. Born in The Hague on September 16, 1883, Colonel Scharroo would lead a very reputable and decorated life, both as a civilian and while in the military. He was a prominent member on both the Netherlands National Olympic Committee as well as the International Committee. When he was young and in his 20s, he helped contribute to the design and construction of the Olympic Stadium in Amsterdam, which would go on to host the 1928 Olympics, whom he was also a board member of on that games committee. During the war, Scharroo was part of the Engineer Corps within the Dutch Army and was known as a reputable concrete technician. In March 1940, he would be assigned to relieve Lieutenant Colonel Gillard as the garrison commander of Rotterdam, with nearly 7,000 men under his command, with 1,000 of which having a combat function. As such, he did not expect to be on the immediate front lines of the war, though the events of May 10th would change that. When the Germans began their invasion, Scharroo was aware that his small garrison would not be able to hold off the massive German forces coming into the city, and requested major reinforcements from the Hague. The next day, after receiving his reinforcements from the northern sector of Fortress Holland, he would reorganize his defenses and call upon the Royal Netherlands Air Force to help support his ground forces by attempting to bomb out the bridges. When the 9th Panzer Division arrived on May 12th at the Muurdijk bridges, Scharroo was given the orders from HQ to clear out any and all German resistance in the north and to destroy those bridges. By this time, the Germans were already holding themselves up in the city's life insurance building, which overlooked the bridge across the Nieuwe Maas. When the Dutch Marines tried to cross it, they were easily mowed down by German machine gun fire. At the same time, the 34 Panzer Corps headed by General Schmidt approached the southern end of Rotterdam, though were reluctant to cross any bridges into the town, as they had previously lost 4 tanks to the Dutch at the Isle of Dordrecht as they attempted to cross the Barendrecht Bridge. Even though the Germans had the Dutch fighters trapped within their own city, they still believed that the only way to break the resistance and the stalemate was an aerial bombardment on the town. On the morning of May 14th, General Schmidt sent a note to Scharroo that contained an ultimatum to the Dutch. Surrender now or be destroyed is what the ultimatum basically came down to. Scharroo sent the note back to the Germans, stating that they would only accept this ultimatum if it was signed with name and rank of the commanding officer. As these negotiations were underway, and unbeknownst to both the Germans and the Dutch, 90 bombers from the German Luftwaffe, ordered by Hermann Göring, were en route to the city. 63 were incoming from the northeast, while the remaining 27 were incoming from the south. They were expected to arrive at 1:20 p.m. Dutch time. Upon receiving the response from Scharroo, General Schmidt would have a new ultimatum written up, which he undersigned with his name and rank, which was to be given back to the Dutch with a deadline to reply of 4:20 p.m. Dutch time. Unfortunately, Scharroo would never get around to replying to the note, as without warning, the German bombers began to bomb the city. Both the Dutch and Germans were taken by surprise by this attack, and the Germans quickly scrambled to pop red flares so the bombers would not drop their payload. While the bombers from the south noticed the flares and turned away without doing any damage, the bombers from the northeast did not see them and dropped their payload upon the city. All in all, 97 tons of bombs fell into the heart of Rotterdam, demolishing it completely. In the aftermath of the devastation, Colonel Scharroo was furious at the Germans for turning on their word, but was still forced to capitulate the city. He would, however, refuse to attend the official ceasefire signing and sent a representative in his place. After the war, he would retire from military service to pursue a career as a hydrologistical advisor and would live until his passing on August 19, 1963. Though he was never decorated for his attempt to defend the city, he would still receive various civil orders from nations all throughout Europe. Anyway, that's all I have for this week's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed this new endeavor of mine, and if so, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments down below. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media with Twitter and Facebook, and if you want to squad up in Battlefield 5 come November, feel free to add me on the PS4. Until next time, I'll see you all on the battlefield.